Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. After a year of chaos in the Tasmanian health system, one sector of the workforce has finally struck an agreement. The Nurses Union and state government shaking hands on a short-term deal. Workers will receive a 2.1% pay rise over 12 months, along with hundreds of dollars in back pay. But the union warns negotiations are far from over.
Side by side in agreement after at least a year of bumping heads.
I'm so pleased that we have been able to strike this deal with the ANMF, and I'm looking forward to back pay coming to our hardworking nurses and midwives as soon as possible.
The offer will see most workers receive around $700 in back pay and a slight wage increase.
We'll see a 2.1% wage increase and back pay, and certainly building or starting to build on those conditions that are extremely important to ensure that we can retain our current nurses and midwives and recruit to the nursing and midwifery professions in Tasmania.
The 12-month deal follows industrial action displays, seeing staff walk off the job across the state in their fight against the 2% wage cap. But with further negotiations on the table, the opposition says there's still work to be done.
This doesn't go away and buy the government any space. It does give a little bit of comfort to some of those nurses who voted for it, but this campaign will continue and the government has to learn how to sit down and negotiate in good faith with its workforce.
But there is a genuine commitment there to negotiate in good faith, and we will certainly be looking to maximise on that more positive negotiation process and hopefully in a more time-efficient process without the need for industrial action.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmanian News.
Heavy fog has caused major disruptions at airports across the state. Throughout the day, many flights to and from Launceston were delayed by hours and some were diverted to Devonport. One Jetstar flight failed to land twice in Launceston after refuelling in Hobart and had to return to Sydney. The weather conditions also affected flights in and out of Hobart Airport. One Virgin plane was filmed landing at Launceston late today, appearing seemingly out of nowhere amid the haze. The problem was made worse with poor visibility impacting flights at Sydney Airport and high winds delaying services from Melbourne. There could be more bad news to come, with the Weather Bureau expecting the fog to linger into tomorrow morning. The voices of thousands of keen singers rang out loud and clear this evening as they celebrated one of the Festival of Voices' most iconic events. The annual Big Sing Bonfire at Salamanca invited all festival goers to join in the community choir as they huddled around a warming fire. The sing-along featured music from a wide range of genres with something for everyone to enjoy.
We look forward to it. We love putting the festival on. It is one of those things that brings joy to everybody, and Hobart would be poor if it wasn't around.
The festival continues for the next week with events being held right across Hobart. An historic Tasmanian site older than Port Arthur is proving to be a popular drawcard for all those interested in learning about our state's history. Willow Court opened to the public today, with many determined to keep the memory alive of those who were sent there.
A stitch in time or 9 to save the memory of female convicts. Dr Christina Henry sewing bonnets here at Willow Court as part of her project Roses from the Heart.
This particular project right now is looking at the 58 women that I've got on my list who died here at Willow Court.
What started as an art project in Hobart in 2007 has transformed and gone global, with people sewing bonnets as far away as the UK and America. The project aims to remember the 25,566 women who journeyed to Australia as convicts from 1788. Bonnets used to symbolise the lives of those women and to provide descendants with a keepsake representing their family history.
And certainly the women who came here, I think, deserve to be remembered because they were institutionalised probably at least twice.
Much of Willow Court's history is dark, with open days such as this one providing an insight. It was, for years, used as a mental asylum, with many people sent here never to leave.
Doing the family history, we found that my husband had a cousin who was put up here by his family because he wanted to marry a non-Catholic.
Probably the conditions that people were in, and very different to how we care for people if you read the history in the history room.
Tour guide Tony Nicholson says it's important people understand what went on.
From a social content on how we've changed and moved forward in many ways over the nearly 2 centuries.
It's really important to see how things have changed and how we've grown beyond what was then and what is now.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, footy fever hit Bellerive today, with fans flocking to Blunston Arena to see North Melbourne take on St Kilda. 10,696 people braced the cold, with blue and white scarves filling the stands. Local support seemed to fire up the Kangaroos, with the side holding a comfortable lead for most of the match. Tasmanians living with mobility restrictions will now have the opportunity to experience more of Hobart's parks and bushlands. The local council expanding the availability of the Trail Rider, a rough terrain electric wheelchair, to include areas including the Waterworks, Knocklofty Reserve and Wellington Park. Some Tasmanian national parks already provide access to the Trail Rider, which is free to hire. From rolling out hoses to applying first aid, Tasmania's volunteer firefighters have been pushed to the limit, taking part in a friendly competition to perfect the skills which could one day save lives.
Extinguishers at the ready, saving a victim trapped under a burning car. This scenario could happen at any time for these volunteer fire brigades, spending today brushing up on the basics.
We all cover the basic skills, but you never know when you're going to use them, and probably the last summer's covered that we need to know them really good.
12 crews from across the Midlands taking part in 12 different drills, an annual friendly competition with real-world implications.
We have stands set up and we have grid references, so there's a lot of map reading, radio work, and when we go to the stands we have exercises doing and get scored.
This crew rolling out a fire hose ready to hit a target. Others practiced filling up their truck connecting to mains water, all while judges watched their every move.
The past fire season showed us just how valuable volunteers are to the community of Tasmania. Tasmania can't get by without its volunteers, and of course what we have to make sure is that they get the opportunity to train.
The winning group taking home the coveted Paul Horn Memorial Trophy, dedicated to a much-loved officer who passed away in 2014.
We won it last year, we was lucky enough, and it's one of the highlights in my TFS volunteer career, yeah.
The Broadmarsh Brigade finishing the day in top spot. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
The Tasmanian Devils have let a quarter-time lead slip against the Bendigo Pioneers in the NAB League. Lauderdale's Matt McGuinness was kept busy in the back line, racking up 35 touches. Up forward, Jackson Callow and Jordan Lane slotted 2 goals each. But Bendigo ran away with the contest in the second half, recording a 29-point win. Tasmanian triathlete Jake Birtwistle has won his 2nd gold for the year in the World Triathlon Series. Held in Germany, the Launceston talent came out unscathed from a huge crash on the bike leg, which wiped out nearly a dozen competitors. He went on to produce a brilliant run, bursting from a crowded pack to clinch first place in the final 50 metres.
The Frenchman looks across and Birtwistle looks so strong. The Aussie, he's going to get there. Fantastic finish, and Birtwistle for the 2nd time wins this season.
Hopefully that means I'm here to stay, and I'll be around for another year or so at least until the Olympics, and I plan to do something similar there.
Birtwistle has moved up to 4th in the overall standings, and he had a spectacular beer shower to celebrate. To basketball, and the Southern Huskies are back in the winners' circle after claiming a 97-89 win over the Nelson Giants. Marcel Jones was the key target, shooting 22 points. The side sits 5th on the New Zealand NBL ladder, with its final roster game at the Silverdome on Saturday night. Meanwhile, all of Tasmania's NBL 1 teams lost overnight. Hobart's men's side went down to Ballarat by 29 points, the women's side defeated by 8. While the Launceston Tornadoes were beaten by Kilsyth 85-63 and the Northwest Thunder lost by 5 points.
Good evening. Fog lingered around some of the valleys throughout the day, disrupting travel plans in the north. Hobart 12, Launceston 9, 13 in Burnie and Devonport. 17 at Strahan today, King Island 16, 14 on Flinders Island and at St Helens and Smithton. Low Head 10, Lyweenie -4 up to 9, Ooze a top of 5 degrees today. Thickening high level cloud crossing the state from the north. Fog and low cloud can be seen across the day. On the satellite, high cloud moving across Tasmania, Victoria and southern New South Wales. Low to mid-level cloud blanketing the rest of New South Wales and most of Queensland. Tomorrow, a cold front will cross Tasmania and Victoria. A trough will extend from the front to northern Queensland. Coastal waters and north to northwesterly winds at 10 to 20 knots. Swells below a metre in the north, around 1.5 in the west and south. Monday's forecast now, a morning shower for Hobart 14, showers easing for Dover 14, Ooze showers clearing and 13. Launceston a morning shower and 14, possible fog once again. Early showers for Devonport and Scottsdale, showers in the morning, 13 the high. Early showers on the way for Burnie 14, Strahan showers and 13. Showers easing at Stanley, 13 the top. Much the same in the east, showers for St Helens 15, Swansea 5 to 15 the range, and Ross showers clearing, a top of 12 degrees. As we look ahead to Tuesday, showers continuing about the west, north and far south, patchy morning frost. Wednesday, showers mainly about the west, north and central areas, increasing to rain in the afternoon with fresh and gusty winds. And Thursday, showers statewide, although the east is looking mainly fine. Capital cities now in Melbourne 15 and showers, Adelaide 16, Perth looking at 19, Darwin sunny and 31, Brisbane a possible shower 23, showers easing in Canberra 15, Sydney a shower or 2 and 18 degrees. And currently it's 7 in Hobart, 7 in Launceston and 9 in Devonport. Rach, a showery start to the week. That's the weather.
Certainly looks that way. Thank you so much for that, Laura. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Good night.